cancer is surely one of those medical cases that has been known to pose serious threats to human health. And the fact that cancer can simply emerge from almost anywhere in the body, even when there are rare cases, goes further to show how serious it is. Today's story is about an Argentinian man who developed a tumor around his ear and cheek area, disfiguring and forming a huge lump in one part of his face. Also, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. Sebastian Alejandro Amurin D'Amico first discovered his growing tumor in 2014 before it became serious. Living in the city of Moreno in Argentina, Sebastian was living his teen years during the time at which he realized something was growing on his face, and it wasn't just pimples. In 2014, I started to feel a lump in my right jaw. I thought it was a pimple, but it kept growing. So I had a consultation at Ramos Mejia Hospital. There, they decided to do a biopsy. In January 2015, I received the results, and all the data conclusively confirmed that I had this cancer. Sebastian told the local media. The results of the test carried out would confirm that the young man had a rare case of rhabdomyosarcoma, or RMS, which is not only an aggressive and highly malignant form of cancer, but also one that only affects 0.5% of patients with a malign lump. For Sebastian, the news of this kind of cancer surely felt like the news to him, especially since he only believed he had gotten a pimple, until it started getting bigger and bigger. The tumor would eventually fully develop and leave Sebastian with a huge lump around his ear area connecting to his cheek as well. With the way things were looking, Sebastian immediately took to the frequent doctor visits to try and get a hold of what was happening to him, as well as a possible solution to whatever it was. Because the case was so rare, most of the doctors he visited didn't quite have the right plan for him, or simply didn't believe it was just easy to get that tumor out. Later on in 2018, Sebastian underwent a surgery to remove the tumor and get his face back to normal. The surgery was successful, as it did help remove most of the tumor, and then his face did go back to normal. However, something happened that Sebastian didn't quite understand, because it only took a while for the same part of his face to start growing again. At this point, it was then clear that the cancer had returned, mostly because of its aggressive nature, as well as the possibility of remnant tumors growing rapidly. And from his history with the cancer, which started almost like nothing was wrong with him until the lump came up, the possibility of a regrowth could not be left out. With this now the case, Sebastian took to seeing another doctor, and then proceeding to go on with radiotherapy. I spoke to another doctor and started doing radiotherapy, but I had to leave because I had a lot of toxicity. In the 7th session, I had to stop because of the pain. I was taking morphine every 4 hours, Sebastian said. The radiotherapy treatment didn't work as fine as Sebastian had expected, and eventually he had to stop after having to deal with some extreme pains resulting from the treatment. The search for a solution didn't stop there for Sebastian, as he continued to go from hospital to hospital and reaching out to several doctors regarding his case. But the fact that even after he underwent surgery, he still developed the lump again was something most doctors didn't understand, and as a result, his case was not taken up or given as much audience as he was expecting. Sebastian also decided to look at the possibility of traveling outside of Argentina to the United States, where he could get a specialist care and also someone who would be interested in taking up his case. However, his plan would be hampered by the COVID-19 pandemic, which was at the time very widespread and resulting in lockdowns and border closures. And with Sebastian, even from South America, where many fatality cases reported for the virus, it was almost impossible for him to travel out or even get the help he so much needed. Before that, in 2019 though, Sebastian took his story to Instagram, where he has managed to rack up over 19,000 followers to talk about his case and also seek for donations to help his bid to get treatment overseas. The campaign would successfully yield results, as his followers were truly generous and donated almost $3,000 at a time. After several attempts to get his case taken up, as well as the setback of the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted in lockdowns and border closures, Sebastian would eventually get a ray of hope when he was contacted by a doctor named Eduardo Souza. who informed him of developing an interest in his case and would be looking forward to seeing him, and then developing an intervention plan which can help to permanently remove the tumors and prevent further regrowth. As if this was not good enough for Sebastian, the doctor even made it better by offering to do the surgery and every other consultation or treatment that will get his face back in shape, all for free. It is important to keep in mind that this is health and that to generate a surgical intervention, everything will depend on the patient's condition because the surgery can be very successful but still harm him. Edward Sosa told reporters. For Sebastian, having someone who would even be interested in his case and prepared to examine him and develop an intervention plan for him all for free was something of a delight, especially since he also tried his best to make sure he got treatment, but all to no avail. I am very happy with this opportunity. I am proud to know that there are surgeons who dare to do the operation, Sebastian said. It is now left to be seen if Dr. Sosa can find a permanent solution to Sebastian's case and prevent a recurring case as with the previous surgery that he had done in 2018. During his whole journey in the search and lookout for treatment, Sebastian wasn't alone and had a supportive wife helping him throughout the process. With his case, you'd have imagined if Sebastian would be able to get married, but yes, he is indeed married with his wife, known to express her love and support for him despite his facial looks. Sebastian has surely had his fair share of struggles with cancer, especially with doctors not willing to take a chance and look into his case, which he absolutely knew nothing about. Not also to mention the false hope he must have had when he first went through surgery to remove the tumor and get rid of the cancerous cells, only to develop the lump all over again. He'll surely be hoping that Dr. Eduardo Sosa is able to come forward with a complete treatment plan that would deal with the cancer and also deal with the lump without having to face the ordeal of it recurring again. There are several rare cancers to know just affect a very few number in the entire population, and one of them is rhabdomyosarcoma. Rhabdomyosarcoma is a rare type of cancer that affects muscle tissue. It is found in children and adolescents, and it can occur anywhere in the body, but usually the head and neck, arms and legs, and urinary and reproductive organs. It is a very rare type of cancer with only 500 people diagnosed yearly in the United States. The cancer also comes with several types based on the organs or parts of the body that they are affected by the cancer. The most common form of rhabdomyosarcoma is embryonal rhabdomyosarcoma, and it usually occurs in the head and neck or the reproductive and urinary organs. This kind can also be subdivided based on regions affected, which includes bladder, vagina, and testicles. Another type is the alveolar rhabdomyosarcoma, and it is a really aggressive type which is usually found in the arms, legs, or torso. According to several sources, there are no known causes of rhabdomyosarcoma, just like some other cancers. It is still unclear as to what exactly causes the cancer and why people develop the cases, especially at a young age. However, there are no known symptoms that can be attributed with the cancer. Like with Sebastian, one of the main symptoms of the cancer is the development of a lump that continues getting bigger and simply stays like that. This is one of the major symptoms and is usually consistent with patients who have this type of rare cancer. Other known symptoms include blood in your urine, bleeding from your nose, throat, vagina, or rectum, trouble peeing, and headaches. Though these symptoms are dependent on the part of the body affected. Diagnosis of rhabdomyosarcoma can simply be done through tests such as biopsy, which is used to confirm cancer, as well as scans like X-ray, MRI, and CT scan. There are also a couple of treatment methods that can be used in dealing with the cancer. One major one is through chemotherapy, and just like with nearly all types of cancer, chemotherapy can help. Radiotherapy can also be employed, though as seen in Sebastian's case, it can be uncomfortable and result in extreme pains. Lastly, surgical method can be applied to get out all or part of a tumor and get the patient free of cancer. Whether this will work will also depend on the stage, type of rhabdomyosarcoma, and the site affected by the cancer. As with Sebastian, who had a lump around his head and neck, the aggressive nature of the cancer seemed to counter the surgical approach taken to remove it. Hence, the reason why it returned, and there is surely need for revised surgical plans, especially in cases similar to Sebastian's. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below, and don't forget to share it with others. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.